We've got a full month of market activity in the new year. How different is the market now compared to 2020? The biggest question I have for you is whether or not the pandemic is still impacting the Toronto condo market. Hey guys, welcome back to the latest episode in the weekly market update. I'm your host Fred Tam, a local real estate broker in Toronto. Yes, I said it and you heard correctly. I hit yet another achievement in my career that I'm super excited to share with you. So what can I do as a real estate broker? The biggest difference for me is that I can start my own journey to opening my own brokerage and to truly establish myself as a corporation. Oh, and I also get to put the title broker on my business card. Do people still use business cards? But I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same as before. Just more expenses and more responsibilities. Who doesn't want that, right? Alright, so thanks for tuning in today's video. We're gonna go over the weekly market update as we normally do, and also look at how the first month of 2021 compares to what happened throughout last year. And this is just for my own sanity to see if the Toronto housing market is still down or if it's making its way back up. But before we get into it, if this is your first time here and you're into learning about real estate, subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. It helps share the video with other like-minded people who share an interest in real estate. In the last market update, I talked about the biggest lessons we learned from 2020, and one of them was that the condo market is not invincible and house prices will always change. So now let's jump right into the market update, starting with Toronto freehold home prices. If this is your first time seeing this update, the orange line represents 2020, the blue line is 2021, and what we're looking at is the first quarter of both years. You can see that home prices at the beginning of this year were still below the average price around the same time last year. Last week, the average home price in Toronto was over $1.5 million. And you can literally see on this graph the exact point in time when the coronavirus impacted Toronto housing. And this year, the overall trend suggests that home prices will continue to rise and possibly exceed prices we saw last year in the first quarter. And obviously, this is very dependent on home buyer and overall market confidence. Yes, the pandemic impacted housing across the globe, but major cities including Toronto rebounded fairly quickly in the freehold market sector. Condo prices, on the other hand, are not rebounding as quickly. Last week, the average condo price came down 2% to $629,000. Condo prices are still well below what we saw in 2020, trending lower than any time we saw in Q1 last year. And you can see here is where the pandemic hit, and yet nearly after 1 year, prices of condos have not gone back up. This could tell us two things. Either something is happening with buyers where they simply do not want to buy condos and instead are looking at alternative housing, which in turn prevents condo prices from rising at an accelerated rate, or condos were just simply overpriced to begin with and the market values we're seeing today are what they should be. And now tell me why you think condo prices are still down. Let me know down in the comments below. So now we're going to look at some market analysis comparisons of condos I did for a client. His biggest question was, are condos still worth buying today? And obviously I told him that you can't time the market and now is a great time to get into the market. So I shared with him these condos that sold last year and what similar units are selling for this year in the same building. This condo unit at 629 King sold for $605,000, making it roughly $1,200 per square foot, no parking, limited living space, but excellent location with a few minutes away from the waterfront. And just a few weeks ago at the beginning of the year, a similar unit sold in the same building for about 20% less for $485,000. That's a price drop down to $970 per square foot. Try to change your mindset for a second and think about that. Can you imagine living by Toronto's waterfront community at a 20% discount? And on top of that, the condo maintenance fees are still at a low 67 cents per square foot, which is amazing for the location. Here's another one at 174 York that sold for $510,000 last year. Same thing, one bed, one bath unit with no parking and less than 500 square feet of total living space, and even closer to the waterfront at around $1,000 per square foot. Last year, a similar unit in the same building sold for $567,000. That's a drop in market value by about 11%, down from about $1,130 per square foot. Okay, now let's talk about sales volumes. In the freehold housing market sector, sales are actually following a similar trend to what we saw last year this time. Last week, 219 homes sold, which is about a 25.8% increase compared to 2020. And we can expect home sales to continue to rise, because as home buyer confidence increases, we'll see more and more homes sold, which creates that cycle of seller confidence to bring more inventory to the market. And I've said it before in past market updates that one of the reasons why freehold home sales could be rising is because home home buyers are now looking for more space that they can't typically get in the Toronto core. But it's looking to be the same with condos as well. Last week, 442 condos sold, a change of about 68% compared to last year. And keep in mind, both of these two time periods are very different. Yes, they're both during the winter and early in the year, but the key difference is that last year was before the pandemic was impacting our local condo market. This year is now after almost a full year of an impacted market from the pandemic. So can we say that both freehold and condo markets have recovered? Write down in the comments what you think. The fact that sales volumes this year are higher than last year is telling us consumer confidence is there. And I love the fact that condos are still below prices we saw last year for two reasons. The first reason is because it creates an opportunity for first-time buyers who have been trying to get into the market for a long time. The second reason might not work for everyone because it involves a higher risk tolerance, but the overall goal is to build wealth. I had clients last year who sold their detached homes to capitalize on higher market values and purchase a downtown condo not only as their primary residence, but also as an investment since prices are so low, with the expectation that over time the prices will rise again at a higher rate than the detached market. Remember that these market conditions in Toronto we're seeing right now don't even include international buyers and foreign students, who could normally create more competition and increased prices. So we know that home prices are on the rise and higher than last year. Condo prices, on the other hand, are still down by as much as 20% in some areas, creating opportunities for buyers of all categories. Freehold and condo sales are both up compared to last year. Last year's real estate market was exciting in its own way, and this year is guaranteed to be exciting as we monitor the changes that compare to last year. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to follow along with the changing market conditions every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.